Hi there, everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's Tips and Tricks webinar. We'll give everyone just another minute or so to join in. I'll get started soon. Okay, thank you again for joining today's Tips and Tricks webinar. Today we will be covering a few of the latest updates to Floify, bulk actions, and milestone sets. Just so you know who I am and why I'm presenting today, my name is Drew. I'm the manager of the support team here at Floify. Last month marked my 5-year anniversary. It's been an amazing 5 years, and I can't believe it's already been 5 years. I was with the company when we were mostly just a secure document collection portal to when we first introduced the loan application, and here we are now where we're continuing to introduce new innovative features such as milestone sets, bulk actions, and other groundbreaking industry features that I'll be showing you today and in the upcoming months. And if you've joined any of our previous webinars, there's a lot of good stuff in there too. So feel free to go back to floify.com/webinars. And we have about 9 or 10, I forget what number we're on now, but we have a lot of other previous webinars that'll catch you up with some of the tricks that I'm sharing with you. Now, as I'm going through and sharing the tips and tricks with you today, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback about bulk actions, milestone sets, or any other features or functionality in the Floify platform, feel free to use the live chat feature on your screen to reach out to us directly. I do have some team members that are standing by to address any questions or comments you have along the way. If you have a personal wish list or any recommendations for features you would like us to cover in upcoming tips and tricks webinars, feel free to send your ideas to us through the live chat as well. And for anybody interested in who I am, there's my lovely picture there. All right, now for the topics of discussion today, we're going to first begin with bulk actions. We're going to show you where they've been added, and then, of course, what actions can now be done in bulk. And then the second part of the webinar, we're going to talk about the milestone sets. So how to create additional milestone sets, how to automate the milestone sets through the use of business rules, and other ways that you can select milestone sets and show you the other functionality as well. Okay, so bulk actions. What are they? Bulk actions allow users to save time by performing actions en masse. So as you can see from the image on the slide here, you can select, for instance, in this case, multiple documents. I can select a mortgage statement, pay stubs, borrower's authorization. When you select multiple documents, you can choose if you want to accept them all, reject them all, or possibly delete all of the documents if you no longer need them. That's just one example of how bulk actions work. Now, bulk actions are added to 3 areas of Floify. They're going to be added to your pipeline, to your prospects page, and then also to a couple of areas in your settings. Now on the pipeline, you can access bulk actions from your active loans. From the active loans, you can archive loan flows in bulk, or you can add followers. You can also access bulk actions from your archived page. Now on your archived page, you can simply unarchive loan flows and send them back to your active loans. And then thirdly, you can access them from your docs pending review. As I just showed you in the last example, you can select multiple documents, choose to accept, reject, or delete those documents from there. Now on the prospects page, you can delete any applications en masse if you need to. And you can also mark your applications as read. For anybody familiar with marking your applications as read, it'll simply remove the bold, and it'll also remove the number next to the prospects that shows you how many incomplete applications that you have. And then in settings, you can access bulk actions from the template documents. You can archive many documents at once, and you can also unarchive many documents at once. And from the Realtors and Partners tab, you can simply unlink any realtors or partners that you no longer need in your repository. Let's go ahead and take a look at these in action. So let's start with the pipeline. From the pipeline, you can select 1, 2, 3, or you can select a lot of different loan flows by clicking the checkbox near the top left corner. You can see that I now have 16 loan flows selected. I can either archive multiple loan flows at once, or I can add followers. If I have a particular user, let's say it's a new support user I've recently added to my team, and I want them to be able to follow multiple loans. If I select the Add Followers button, I can go ahead and select my support user. Let's say it was John Smith, and he's going to be added as a follower now, so he's getting copied on those emails for all of the particular loans that I've just selected. I can go ahead and click Add Followers, and now John is going to get copies of those emails on those particular loans. Or if I no longer need any particular loans, maybe I just got carried away with my loans and I haven't been archiving them. If now I'm going through and cleaning those up, I can select and archive them so they get removed from my active loans and now get placed into my archived tab there. Now, the second place that you can go ahead and access the bulk actions is in the docs pending review. So if I look at Raymond Test's case here, I can see that he has 7 docs that need my review. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, so if I'm looking at these documents, I can select all of them, or I can pick and choose which documents I want here. Now I can go ahead and accept them all. I can reject them all. I can delete any documents I no longer need. Let's say that in this case, I'm ready to accept them all. I just go ahead and click accept. It lists all my documents here. Go ahead and accept, and it moves them out of my docs pending review, and it saves time by putting them into the docs accepted. For anybody that's been with us a while, I'm sure you'll appreciate that feature. Now, the next place we'll look is going to be on the Prospects tab. There's a couple of different options that you have from here. Again, you can pick and choose which incomplete applications you want to select. I'm going to go ahead and select all of them, and you have 2 options here. You can delete any of these applications that you no longer need from your prospects, or you can mark them as read. If you mark them as read, what's going to happen, let's go ahead and mark as read, is you'll notice that the bold gets taken off them, and that number that was shown next to prospects disappears. So I know that I've had a chance to look through all of these applications, and I can stay up to date with them. All right. And then the last place we can look is going to be in our settings. And there's 2 places that the bulk action will take place in the settings. One of them is going to be in the template docs, and the other one is going to be in Realtors Partners. So if I scroll down, I can see all of my available template documents that I have in here that I've created. Now I can go ahead and pick and choose which ones I want there. Let's say that you're cleaning up your template documents list and there's certain documents that you no longer need. Now, instead of deleting them, we recommend archiving them. So let's say I no longer need co-borrower driver's license. Let's say I no longer need a credit card processing form, and maybe I no longer need business tax returns for whatever reason. I can go ahead and select those 3, go ahead and click archive, and that will move those from active right into archived. All right, and then conversely, you can do the same thing from your archived. So if you accidentally archived some template docs and you want to go ahead and send them back to your active tab, you can do the same thing from your archived and then just simply unarchive them. Now from your Realtors and Partners tab, you can select multiple partners right in here and you can unlink them. All right, so if there's a long list of realtors you no longer need, you can go through, pick and choose, and then you can go ahead and unlink to bulk unlink your realtors and partners from your realtors and partners repository in Floify. All right, let's go ahead and talk about milestone sets now. So milestone sets allow you to have more than one set of milestones. You can actually have up to 10 milestone sets. You can set your milestones based on loan type, for instance. You can select different milestone sets for purchase, refinance, VA, or any other milestone sets you may need. They can be created with business rules, just like auto doc requests. And if you're starting a loan from the Start New Loan Flow page or starting it manually, as we refer to it, you can choose a milestone set from that page. You can now set auto archive based on a specific milestone. So for instance, I am a fan of auto archiving when your loan has been funded. So when you check that particular milestone, you can choose to have your loan flow automatically archived. And for anybody out there who is familiar with APIs or milestone webhooks, perhaps you're working with the developer, those have been updated to also include the milestone set data. The first place you can access milestone sets is from the company dashboard. Now, company enforced milestones and milestone sets can be set from the company dashboard. If those are enabled, all of the LOs in the company are forced to use the same company milestones and milestone sets. This is good for consistency across the board. So if you have an admin who wants to make the changes for all of the LOs under the company dashboard, this is a great option. The second place that milestone sets can be accessed is from the team settings. So from the team settings, if this is enabled for each LO, they can create, edit, clone, and create their own business rules for milestones and milestone sets. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about the company settings here. Now keep in mind, you do have to be an admin to access the company dashboard. If you're an admin, you can click on your team name on the top right corner, go to company dashboard. Of course, you're going to have your company settings here. Go ahead and click company settings. And we want to go to the basic settings, which is going to be the first one that opens up for you. Now, if we go 8 sections down, we're going to be looking for the milestone settings, which you can see right here. So set company milestones, email templates, and auto sync. If you have an LOS or a CRM milestone sync set up, you can set those up from here as well. Now, what I'm focusing on is I want to click edit milestone settings. This is where those sets are going to live. Okay, now when I open this up, I have a few options here. I have my milestones, and I have a setting that I can turn on right here that says enable company enforced milestones and milestone sets for your LO teams. Now you do want to be careful here. You want to be absolutely sure that you want these milestones, these default milestone sets that you have set here, to carry over to all LOs on your company under your company dashboard. So any milestones that are currently set by your LOs, the moment you click this checkbox, those are going to be replaced by the milestones you have set down here below. So you want to be absolutely sure this is what you want for your company. If you're not quite sure, I don't recommend doing it because you may wipe out some settings that another LO has taken the time to customize. Maybe they have custom videos or something like that. So you want to be absolutely sure on that one. And then once you set that up, if that is something you want to set, you can also enable automatic milestone sync with your LOS or your CRM settings as well. All right, so let's talk about the milestone sets down here. So set the company enforced milestones. Now you're going to have a default set that's already set up right here. You can see we have application, pre-qual, pre-approval, contract received. We give you 14 milestones right out of the gate. Now, if you want to go ahead and customize a milestone set, you can have up to 10 of them. go ahead and click Edit Milestone Sets here. All right, so here's your list of milestone sets. Of course, we just have the default milestone set at this point. Now, when you're ready to add a new one, go ahead and click Add Milestone Set. And it gives you the example of purchase. So let's run with that. Let's just say this is a purchase milestone set here. And we can select our conditions here. So you have your different options here. You have your default options. You have marital status, loan type, income, asset, liability. You also have any custom questions. So if you've gone through your settings and you've set up some custom questions, you can set conditions based on those custom questions as well. So for instance, I ask, are you a veteran? If I wanted to go and set up a milestone set for a VA loan, I may want to set that up based on this question here. In this case, it's just a purchase, so I'm going to select loan type equals purchase. That looks good there. And I can add an additional condition if I want to. You do want to be careful because both conditions will have to be met. It's an and option, not so much an and or. So if you put two different loan types here, like loan type equals purchase, and then if I put another one that says loan type equals refinance, this can never be true because it has to be one or the other. So just keep that in mind. I recommend staying with one condition if possible. All right, now for your milestone set, you can clone your milestones from another milestone set as well. So if I check that box, I can choose where I want to clone from. So I have my default milestone set. Maybe I just want to change one or two milestones for my purchase. So I'm going to go ahead and choose to clone from my default milestone set and save. All right, now if I do a quick refresh, I can see I have my purchase here. I can click edit, where again, I can go ahead and customize my business rules here. I can delete it. If I ever want to delete, I can remove my set there. And to go back to my milestones, go ahead and click return to your milestones. And now I'm going to see default milestone set, and I also have my purchase milestone set. All right, with those same milestones here. Now, if I wanted to remove one of these, maybe I want to remove pre-qualification. I can click the trash can. I'm going to go ahead and remove pre-qualification here. Maybe I want to add one. Now, if I want to add one to a particular milestone set, I can click Add Purchase Milestone right down below. Go ahead and type in my my milestone name. Let's just say this was rate locked and save it. I can go ahead and drag that wherever I want this to live in my application. Maybe I want that to live right here. All right, so now I have my milestones that differ just a little bit here. All right, maybe I want to go ahead and add another one. Again, I'm going to click Edit Milestone Set, Add Milestone. This time, I want this to go ahead and be a refinance. I'm going to set up my conditions, so loan type this time equals refinance. Again, I'm going to go ahead and clone over from my default milestone set. Notice how there's a purchase as well. I can clone from that one if I want to, but I'm going to clone from my default milestone set and save. And I now have a refinance option. All right, I'm going to go ahead and return to your milestones. And I have my refinance options here. Now for a refinance, I don't need a pre-qualification. I don't need a pre-approval, so I can go ahead and remove these. All right, maybe for this one, I want to add a milestone, but maybe this time I want to add it to all of my milestones. So instead of clicking Add a Refinance Milestone, if I click Add Milestone near the top here, you can go ahead and name this. Maybe I want to name this Conditional Approval. Now I can choose which milestone sets I want to add this milestone to. Maybe I want to add it to all of them, or maybe I just want to add it to the purchase and the refinance. I can go ahead and click Save, and now that option shows for only my purchase and only my refinance. I can go ahead and move that into place wherever I want it. And there's my milestone sets. That's how you set those from the company level. Okay, now that we've covered the company settings, let's go ahead and talk about the milestone sets from the team setting. So from the pipeline, go ahead and click Settings at the top. And now what we're looking for is the milestones tab. So go ahead and select that. And we want to select manage milestones. Now again, this is going to be very similar settings to what we saw in the company settings. We're going to have the ability to add a milestone. Again, you can select to add them to one particular set, or you can add them to all sets. And you can edit your milestone sets here. One note about the milestone sets, if for any reason you need to set up milestone sets with the same exact conditions, so let's say you had another milestone set set to loan type equals refinance. If that were the case, the default milestone set that will be selected there is going to be the milestone set that is selected the highest. You can move your milestone sets around by just dragging and dropping. So just something to keep in mind there. The one that is listed highest with that same business rule or same condition is going to be the one that defaults automatically. Go ahead and return to your milestones. And a couple of more things about this. Again, you can go through your different milestones here. One thing I didn't point out in the company milestone sets is that you can turn on auto archive. So for example, if I have my loan funded milestone here, if I want to go ahead and click edit milestone, I have the option of auto archiving my loan flow when this milestone is checked. So when my loan is funded, I want to go ahead and remove that active loan from active over to archived automatically. So if you check this box, you can choose if you want that to go ahead and archive immediately. You can choose 15 days, 30 days, or 60 days after you've checked this milestone. All right, I'm going to go ahead and leave it as immediately here and save. All right, so let me show an example of this. So let me go home and let's just say it was Bobby Borrower here. I can go ahead and access Bobby Borrower's loan flow. And you can see I have four milestones that are already checked here. Now, if I access my edit loan flow page, I can access that from here, or I can access that from my home page. If I go 3 sections down, I can see the milestone set. Now, by default, I have this automatically set to my default milestone set. Now, if I wanted to change this at any time down the road, maybe it turns out my borrower is actually looking for a refinance and I want to change my milestone set. I can open this up, I can select refinance, purchase, or go back to my default milestone set. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that when you change your milestone sets, again, keep in mind, I had 4 of those milestones that were already checked off, right? You can see this checked off here. Now, if I change to a different milestone set, those are going to be cleared out. All right, so let me go ahead and select refinance, save, and if I go ahead and refresh, those milestones are now cleared out and I have to start over. Now, this is important for a couple of reasons. One, you may have to check these milestones off again if you were to a certain milestone. Now, you do have the option of checking them off without sending an email or a text message through Floify, so no big deal there as long as you select no. Now, for anybody that does have an LOS milestone sync set up, that can be through Encompass, through Lending Pad. You can have it through the CRM Surefire top of mind. The significance of having the milestone sync set up is that if you plugged in a date within the last 48 hours to the LOS system and you change your milestone set in Floify, Floify is automatically going to sync back up to those milestones in your LOS system. And what's going to happen is you're going to send out a notification to all parties again. So you might send a notification to your borrower, to any realtors and partners, and potentially any other third parties. So that's one of the significant things that can happen when you change milestone sets, and something to definitely be aware of if you are going to be changing those sets and you have an LOS sync set up. If you don't have an LOS sync set up, no worries. You can always go back and check off your milestones, no problem, without sending an email or a text message. Now, if I go back to my edit loan flow, remember I chose to auto archive my loan flow when I selected my loan funding. Now, I did this on my purchase milestone set, so let me go ahead and change this to my purchase. and I'm going to save. Now, if I go back home, I still see Bobby Borrower here. All right, so let me go back to my milestones. Let me find my loan funded. I'm going to go ahead and select that. I'm going to say no, don't send any emails or texts. I can go ahead and put it to yesterday's date. I can put it to the day before, whatever I want here, or I can just completely remove a date if I don't want it there. Now, when I check off this milestone, if I go back home, notice that Bobby Borrower is no longer listed on my active loans. Now, if I go back to archived, I see that Bobby Borrower was automatically archived. All right, so that's how the auto archive works in Floify. Okay, milestone sets, final takeaways. Once again, if multiple milestone sets use the same business rule, the milestone set furthest to the top will be the default. If a milestone set is changed after a loan flow has been started, previously checked milestones will be unchecked. And if you're using an LOS or a CRM milestone sync, Floify may sync to your LOS milestones and resend notifications to all parties if the date was added to your LOS within 48 hours of changing milestone sets. And the auto archive you can select to have your loan flow archive immediately within 15 days, 30 days, or 60 days after your milestone is checked off. That's it for today. I want to thank you all for joining us. And if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please send those to support@floify.com. Have a great day, everyone.